probably just had time to go
Fuel
to.
scooping.
Probably had time to go to the off-air banner, and now I'm back. Since you're probably used to seeing the yellow dwarves.
Fuel tank disengaged.
Let's go look at this thing. I do not care for this type of star here that I'm going to, because they tend to throw off a lot of heat. I recognize them by color. When you jump into a system that has one of these stars at the center of it, you really can't refuel from it because it will overheat your ship. Let's see what we got here. This is another one. This is actually from one of the Samurai Champloo soundtracks called Master. But it changed on me while I was still looking at it. I think it's called Tsuchi. Tsuchi. Tsuttchie. It's another one of those albums where they commissioned an artist to make the music, obviously. They didn't make it in-house. I am listening to, it is Claire de Lune Moonlight by Leipzig Radio Orchestra. Oh, we're getting a scan. Let's bring this. It is cool though, because the game with this independent camera, if you look, when I'm moving the throttle on my flight stick, it actually is moving his left hand as well, and it actually the heads-up display is moving along with it. So if I really wanted to, I wouldn't do it in combat, but you could fly the ship from this point of view. A brown dwarf. An L-class brown dwarf.
Frameshift drive charging. Four, three,
Are you still with me, Kilo? Or did I lose you?
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one.
I think when I turned the stream off momentarily to divide it into 2 recordings, I lost all the viewers. I don't know if they can't connect or what. Kilo is usually pretty good about tuning in. I'm surprised that he get disconnected and didn't come back. Ooh. Yes, web guru. Oh, okay.
Fuel tank disengaged.
Huh. It took a while to reconnect you to me. I really only turned the stream off for about 15 seconds while I changed the title. .1 silicate vapor geysers. Huh, no atmosphere. Tidally locked. Interesting. I am listening to, let's see, Sons of the Pioneers, Tumbling Tumbleweeds from the songs from the Mojave Wasteland, Fallout New Vegas mood, so it's the Fallout New Vegas soundtrack. I don't recall hearing this song in the game, so maybe it's cut content. Now it's music from Golden Sun, the Game Boy game. Can I park on any of these planets? Because I need a cup of coffee. Well, I can park on all these moons. Why is she barking at 10:30 at night? Let's see if she keeps barking. Damn it, I was about to say, damn it, scan. I'm having to go in the retro. I'm about to pass it. Let's get up to maneuvering speed. Try to scan. I should be better by now about monitoring the speed of the ship and not flying past things. Not familiar with the song either, but it's off the Samurai Champloo soundtrack. It's pretty good. It's like reminds me of like Dido. Soft, kind of up-tempo female vocalist with some female backups. Pretty good pipes, not real high-pitched, kind of soothing. The kind of song that you'd expect to hear over the closing scenes of like a series finale, or rather like a season finale of like a medical show. What did I select? Okay. Okay, we're going in. I'm gonna land on this planet, grab a cup of coffee real quick. Well, that's the planet there. I'm gonna land on this moon, rather. Now I'm gonna get a cup of coffee. Let's land on the bright side of the planet instead of the dark side. Because I do have lights on the ship, I just don't know where they are. Like, I know the key command. I do know the key command to turn them on, but every ship, the weapons placement, the placement of the lights, the landing gear, the sensors and scanners is all different. Yeah, I know I'm going to impact the planet. That's kind of the idea. Can you hear me all right? This music's kind of loud.
Orbital flight engaged.
rocky body, so it's just a. See one. Okay, there we go. Well, this looks rough. Yeah, you're not going to hear music. The way that the Twitch, I guess it's either the Twitch app or the way the Xbox is. What you see is what is the game. The Twitch app is looking specifically at the game. The music is part of a background app that's running on the dashboard in my Xbox, so you're not going to hear it. Let's not crash into the freaking planet. I didn't check the gravity, but it's not really a big deal. Okay. Landing gear. What is this now? Ah, Shovel Knight release trailer. Oh, we got some volcanic activity. With me playing on the Xbox and streaming directly from my Xbox instead of using a computer to stream, I can't add song requests and you can't hear the music that I'm listening to. Unless it would come through this mic here and then it would be distorted because I would have to play it so loud that it was bleeding over. I need it to, it's gonna go wide, hopefully. Ooh. That's what the shield's for. Cargo scoop.
Landing gear.
Miscellaneous ship lights on B to the right. That's what it should be. B to the left. It is B, right? Huh. We're gonna switch that. There we go. That kind of makes sense that that's where the ship light would be. Actually, that makes sense. That means that my cabin is probably... Oh, that's just mirrored. Oh, that's cool. I might take a screenshot of that, actually. Look at that. Okay. I'm gonna go grab a cup of coffee real quick. Enjoy. That is truly beautiful. Brings a tear to my eye. I'm gonna go grab a cup of coffee. Enjoy the nice scenic view. A little bit of asteroids. You can see the mirrored canopy. You can see the open stars off the canopy. I think that's probably the planet that this moon's orbiting. I'm touchdown. You can see the galactic horizon. Very, very picturesque. I'll be back. Less than 10 minutes. I'll make the cup. The cup will take about 3 minutes to brew. Probably another 3 minutes to consume and get back. So be patient, please. Okay. I feel much better. Few containers of yogurt. Nice cup of coffee, cream, no sugar. A banana. That was completely ripe, but not brown. And a nice warm glass of water. I almost don't want to move the ship. This is so pretty to look at. But so pretty. Okay. Oh yeah.
Landing gear retracted. Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Oh let's not do that. That was mistake on my part.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Need to get away from this planet before the glide engages again. Is that Pavarotti? Barba Seville. Alexander Hodolkov. Opera music. We're actually gonna skip that. I'm not in the mood for that right now. Howlin' Wolf with some blues, some Johnny Cash, Frankie Valli. Here we go. Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. There we go. You don't want to hear me sing, so I'm just not gonna make noise. mm, I'd expect it to have scanned at this distance. Are you still with me, Kilo? I see you on the viewer list, but I don't see you speaking in chat. Hello. I'm just out exploring. There, you got it under control? What is the name of it, or what are you trying to do? The one that's like booed. A Chamunda. Chamunda. Mm-hmm. You have it selected? I'm not getting the whole statement. Is it saying plot failed? Route unavailable. Okay. Whoa. Okay, I just dropped myself out of Super Cruise by accident because I'm looking at my flight stick touching stuff. Okay. It's probably not going to directly help you, but I'm going to walk you through a key command so that we can both look at the same thing relatively. I'm going to look at my map, you look at yours. Hold in Y and press left on the D-pad. Does that do anything for you? Okay, good. Just making sure because I wasn't sure if that was a flight stick thing. You're in solo play. Go ahead, what were you saying? You're in Chamunda. Okay. Do you need to know what port in there that he would like you to go to? He wanted you to go to the ring. That's the one that I picked up when I got on today from him.
Frameshift drive charging. Ready to engage.
Cupis.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
You remember how to spell that? Okay. Yeah, the hyperspace or the frameshift drive, jumping between systems, you most likely have to be at full throttle, yes. Right, when you're going at normal speed, like you just left a station, and you're not mass locked, if you hit Y once, it'll jump you to Super Cruise, which is usually what you use to move around the system. If you hit it again, you'll start getting that bar that's charging at the top center of your screen. While that's charging, you're collecting heat, so you don't want to just linger once it's full. While it's charging, point your ship at wherever that compass indicator tells you to point it, and then when it's fully charged, it'll automatically jump. But that should all be done with just single presses of Y. If you press Y a third time, it will cancel the charge. If you press Y by accident, when you're in Super Cruise, and you have nothing selected as a next system, it will drop you out of Super Cruise. If you hit it twice by accident in quick succession, it will cause an emergency drop that will damage your ship slightly, so be careful doing that. Hyper or frame shift will move you between systems, but you have to have the next system plotted, otherwise it won't let you just blindly jump between systems. You gotta have a target. Yes, plot, then jump. See, you're in Cupis. I almost did what I told you not to do, which was do an emergency drop. I stuttered when I pressed Y. Okay, Cupis. I'm gonna see how far from Cupis. How low in fuel are you? Ooh. That's only 300. It's not too far, but you're in solo, so I can't see exactly where you're at. I can kind of take an educated guess if you're leaving one to go to the other. Okay, that's fine. It's good to ask questions. This game lives on the community support. That's pretty. I'm just out exploring. I'm about 300 light years from you, so if you really need help, I can come help you. I don't have to get off soon or anything like that. Yes, I actually got to that station and parked before I got off last night, so once you get into the system, I can tell you the name of the station. And I'm surprised Stretch isn't on, and I don't mean this as any offense to you, but I think he's on Netflix. Okay. But I don't know. The money will help you, and it'll help you get started, but I just use it wisely. Though right now, the world economy of the game is relatively in a boom where money's being handed out pretty easily. It's not always going to be that way, and they'll eventually sort it back to the way it was, balance everything out, and money will be harder to come by. So just be frugal. I was concerned, and they're not really doing it with this mission that they're helping you with this mission that you're trying to seek out the payment from. But some of the other missions pay so heavily that it could make you more wealthy than you should be at your particular experience level, and allow you to buy things that you can't handle. So just. Right, this mission that you're seeking out now, the payment from, isn't going to pay you so much. It's going to pay you about 800 grand, which will allow you, if you wanted to buy a better ship or to very well equip the ship you're in. As Danny will probably tell you at least once sometime in your career, the ship you're in, the Sidewinder, is not really an ideal ship for beginners. It is technologically limited enough that it poses a challenge to you. If you can overcome that challenge, it's great for your skill growth, but it can slow you down in your skill growth because it is pretty sparse. That Cobra 3 that Stretch and a lot of them are always talking about, that's a much better ship, and in my opinion that should have been the ship that they gave you to start the game with. It's a little bit quicker, a little bit more maneuverable, but much easier to equip and operate. Right, you do have other options other than that, since there is other ships in that price range, but sometimes they get ahead of themselves, and this game is all about not being told how to play the game, as Danny calls it, science. But really, it's a series of forgivable mistakes that you're gonna make, everyone makes, and it's good for you building knowledge about the game and how you want to play it. So there's probably 3 ships in the price range of the Cobra. 4 probably, one of which I don't really recommend you get as your first replacement. So there's about 4 ships you can afford and still have money to equip. And that's like the Diamondback Scout, which is about 400,000. The Cobra 3, which I think is like 350 to 400. The Adder and the Hauler. The Hauler, I do not recommend you buy. It is not a bad ship, but it is a ship that cannot defend itself, and it is really a ship that costs in your price range because the ship is so empty. It is basically like the NASA space shuttle, like the Challenger or the Discovery. It has 1 weapon port on it, so it's actually less capable than the ship you're already in, but it is capable of taking a very small cargo of very valuable low quantity items and moving them very great distances at very low cost. That's all it's good for. It can never be made into a combat ship because it does not have enough weapons on it, or armor, or module size. But I like it as an exploration ship. But it's so cheap that a lot of people, that and the Keelback, are ships that are good as cargo ships, but it requires a lot of compensation from your skills, otherwise you'll get killed. Right, you're trying to get the money, right? It will be when you get to the base that once you get in system into Cubus, and you get parked in that station of your own control. If you go into the mission board, the first mission giver, the very first mission in his log will be a mission that's already complete, waiting for you to pick it up, and then it'll just give you the money. You're probably just gonna have to fly around it. Just be careful you don't get too close. Keep an eye on your heat if you understand what that means. Okay. You don't have a compass indicator anywhere? You might be in the system, your destination system. It'll drop off the compass indicator once you've reached your destination system. See, I can see where you're at if I look on the friends list, I believe. Yeah, you're in Cubus. So you're going to be looking for a place called something Ring. Sorry, I can't help you more. Cubus. Okay, Cubus. It's Cubus, but yeah, you're the first one. I could have swore it was a different one. Okay. I'm just gonna let you go there since they were in earnest to get you there and see if you find something, because that's not where I was at. There may be a second mission that's going to pay you that it's in a different spot. But I was not there. Did they explain to you the orange and the blue bars on your fuel? Okay, it's a simple thing. It's none of it is probably going to be blue now, but when it's blue, that's how much fuel you're going to use to do whatever your next planned jump that you already have plotted. You just got to make sure that your blue bar doesn't take out so much of your fuel that it's going to leave you somewhere that you can't have enough fuel to get away from. So you just gotta, like, not let that get too low. That's all it means. I was initially concerned about your fuel level with, since any ship that has the slots can do it, but there's a way that I can actually take fuel out of my fuel tank and put it into yours using a drone that relays it. So if you were in danger of running out of fuel, I was going to come to you and, you know, service you so that you didn't die. Oh, okay. That's fine. Like I said, it's all a learning process. I still learn stuff today. Everyone does. I tried jumping without plotting. That's the only and I tried that just today. I only learned that you can't blindly jump today. Okay. Do you have the port selected? Okay, slow down to 0% throttle for a moment while I explain this so you don't fly past it. You see the two bars on your bottom left. You see the sliders moving along them? You need to have both those sliders in the blue at the same time and then hit Y at that point, and it will drop you about 9 kilometers away from the station at Super Cruise speed, which will be appropriate for you to navigate into the station. Then you can change your throttle from there to maneuver. But you can be traveling so fast that that distance ticker passes the blue zone before the speed ticker gets into the blue zone, so you gotta adjust your speed accordingly as you get closer. It's a finesse thing that takes a long time to master, and I'm not even there yet. You just be patient, and sometimes you gotta fly in a little bit slower than necessary to get them lined up. That speed ticker is your actual speed, so if you get pulled by gravity backwards or forwards or side to side, it affects that. It doesn't discriminate between forward motion and diagonal motion, so it's just how fast you're moving in any direction. It's handy that when you're coming towards a station, if you can get it so that you're going to pass by the planet right before you get to the station, the planet's gravitational pull will slow you down a lot faster than you can slow yourself down, and it'll help stabilize you to get you where you need to be. You don't need to select the planet, you just... If you hit, let's see, oh, it started going to the instrument cluster started coming up. But you still have the station selected. If it looks like that from a long distance, the station's probably just invisible in comparison to the planet. So it'll look like it's taking you to the planet, and then it'll separate. Sometimes it feels like it's terribly slow that you need to be at, but it's just, you gotta understand, you don't want to bang your head against the inside of the canopy trying to slow down, so you just taper it off. Yes, that's what you want. It becomes second nature after a while. It just, the more tired you are, or the more frustrated you are, the harder it'll become. So just, sometimes you just gotta take a breath, come to a complete stop, gather yourself first. Yeah. No, I definitely know what you mean. I was talking to someone the other day when I was streaming on Twitch, and I ran my expensive exploration ship into a moon. I definitely know what you mean. So you just gotta remain calm. I know it's hard sometimes. This game can be very frustrating, but it's not the end of the world. Just deep breaths. I'm just surprised it's only you and I on at this particular time. It's Friday night, I expected more. Particularly Danny. Danny has got his own unique schedule. I think he's been sick lately, and so his sleep schedule's been all thrown out. That's fine. Even with, you know, having a grasp on everything, the game still has certain things that you just can't do. Like traveling very long distances, that plotting computer will only let you go, will only plot a route so long, and that distance pales in comparison to the size of the actual galaxy we're traveling around in. I don't know off the top of my head what ships they sell at Booty, if you're buying a ship there or if you're gonna buy one at whatever the name of that ring was that I was sitting at. Chapman, Cupis, Magnus, Levaden. I don't know where it was that he was at. Okay. Oh, look at that. Okay. See, but you've got your wits back about you, and you're stable now. Okay. Just asking, because I'm at that turning point where if I continue on the semi-spontaneous path that I'm on through these different systems exploring, I'm going to be going away from you, and it's going to become harder to or more time consuming rather to get to you if you were in trouble. It's completely fine. We're all here to answer questions. I think, and I also kind of feel a little bit guilty because last night I was like, yeah, we'll help you, and then I was like, you know what, actually, I'm leaving, and then I just kind of silently left because I just I get up about 6 in the morning to go to work, and it was midnight, past midnight, and I was like, I sleep like 9.5 hours a night, and it was midnight, and I had to be up in 6 hours. Like, I'm gonna feel terrible in the morning. I also blame that to be why. I know Astos is at work right now. He's been at work for about 5 hours. He'll probably be at work for at least another 2. And he might not get on when he gets home. Danny's sick. Stretch is watching TV with his wife. You and I are here. Gear Jockey and Shadow and Oakletree are either asleep after working all day or just doing something else. I know Gear Jockey will play for like 20 hours straight and then be off for about 30 hours and then get back on and play for 15.
Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you feel like the landing's getting easier now?
4, 3, 2, 1,
Right. Yeah, you get used to the whole sequence of getting in there, getting the landing gear down, getting the thrusters engaged, and getting your ass planted. Check. Do me a favor. Check in the mission board there. Tell me if you see anything. 'Cause I got this nagging feeling that either I missed a mission that he shared with us, and I need to go to where you're at and collect money, or you've been directed to the wrong quest giver in error. Because Booty is definitely where he was at, but that's not where I started out, because when I got on today, there was a mission for the algae that he was doing. Yes. It should be the first quest giver, first mission. Should say something about completed. What is the rest of the text for the mission? Perhaps I missed the mission. Yeah, okay, I collected that first. That'll set you for a good while and pretty much allow you to buy but not equip ships up through about a small medium size. But some of the more advantageous ships, you gotta realize, like, I'll use the dropship for example. The dropship, in order to get it, you have to have a certain rank of reputation with the Federation Navy, which means doing stuff for the quest givers that are aligned with them, buying the ship, and also the Navy gives you a specific mission that's usually a little bit harder than a normal mission that you have to do for them to do each rank up. You have to get to like the 3rd rank to get the dropship. The dropship's 17 million. It's a $17 million ship that has some modules on it that are 5 or 6 million a piece. Are you in the shipyard? Okay. What ships? You want to go to shipyard because I'm gonna have you list off some information for me, help you make an educated decision, give you an options, tell you, you know. I'm gonna try to give you at least 3 options. Okay. What's the next ship? Let's go through the list. Okay, the Anaconda is out of your price range. Anaconda is one of the largest and best ships in the game. It is not the best, there is no best ship, but there's 3 ships that, Anaconda being one of them, they're considered like the big 3. They're like endgame ships, they're really nice when equipped correctly. Okay, so the hauler I would probably not recommend at this particular point. It can get you around, but it really is just a taxi without weapons. Cobra is a viable option. Go ahead. Okay, the Cobra 3 is the Cobra 3 is a viable option. The Cobra 4 is a ship you're not going to be able to get probably ever, because it required you to have bought the full game sometime in 2015 when it released. It's just a pre-order content. You might see AIs using it, but you most likely will never see one of them. It's not really good, it's just a vanity item, it's a trophy. So Cobra 3 is a viable option. If you wanted to just jump way ahead, really kind of getting bigger than your britches, but not really a fatal issue, you can get that Asp Scout. It's a solid ship. So the Eagle as well. The Eagle kind of flies like an F-16. It's maneuverable, it's fast, it's not altogether flimsy, but it is probably significantly faster. The Eagle can be equipped to be the fastest ship in the game. It is like insanely fast, but it is small, and it's probably, if you wanted to make that comparison, it's very close to an X-Wing from Star Wars. And they're dirt cheap. There is a better version of the Eagle called the Imperial Eagle that I think costs 120,000. It's basically an Eagle. It's better in every way. They use the same size modules, but the Imperial Eagle is just built better. An Eagle cannot be, even within my means, cannot be made to jump over 29 light years, which I know is a lot more than what you have, but that's the max. Like, you cannot no engineering can get it past 29, I believe, or maybe 32. The Cobra is a good, well-rounded ship that honestly I never used. I went from the ship you have to the Eagle to the Hauler to the Diamondback Scout, then the Imperial Eagle, and I bounced around a lot, up and down in the size classes. I used the Diamondback Scout kind of in place of what you're about to do, which is get a Cobra 3 or an Asp Scout. The Diamondback Scout is about 400,000, so it's kind of comparable to a Cobra 3. It's faster and generally better, but they're a little bit harder to find and they cost a little bit more. But really, the Cobra, if you buy it, you'll probably never regret it until you upsize, and that's just natural player progression. It's just a good all-around ship. It's the ship that I advocate should replace the Sidewinder as the ship they give you at the beginning of the game. The Asp, keep in mind that if you're willing to jump it, the Asp Scout is better than the Cobra in every way. But as you can see, there's a price difference. Just store it. It's not worth enough to really even be worth the time you're going to spend selling it. And having that Sidewinder there, if for any reason, I'm not saying in your current situation you would have this issue now, but if for any reason you die in such a state where you cannot afford to replace the ship that you're in, you cannot afford to pay the insurance for the ship you're in, but really it's like paying 9% of the worth of your ship back, which is a minority. You never want to, right? The Sidewinder will be the ship that it will put you in wherever you left it. You can pay to move the Sidewinder around. You can accumulate ships like I have and the other people have, where if you die, you can replace the ship you're in and then go at the last port that it was in and then jump into a different ship. But if you're so poor you can't afford anything, it will put you in that Sidewinder however you left it equipped. But if you sell it, it will put you back in a Sidewinder with all parts that are worth nothing if you sell them. It'll be a Sidewinder equipped in the worst way, as if you just started the game. So you want to leave the Sidewinder as is and just stow it. Sidewinder? Okay, you have plenty of money. You're actually in the Cobra now, right? Yes, it's optional. Put it in the smallest slot, because it is a unit that uses virtually no power, but whatever slot you put it in can't be used for something else, so just put it in a small slot. This might seem like kind of an odd question, but I'm going somewhere with this. How old are you? Okay. You're middle-aged, so it's not really an issue. It's kind of ambiguous. You know, you surf the internet on your phone a decent bit. Okay. There is a website that I'm looking at on my phone that it will optimize itself for a phone, assuming you have a phone that has a decent sized screen. It's called Coriolis.io. If you just put the word, and I can spell it for you, Coriolis, into Google and go down to the one that says, that is not a scientific one, that says Coriolis Shipyard. It is a website that any ship in the game, it'll allow you to open up that outfitting menu and theoretically equip it. And it won't cost you anything because it's not connected to your actual game account. It allows you to lay out a ship and see how much it would cost, see if that's a viable thing that your ship power supply can support. It allows you to fiddle with stuff when you're sitting on the toilet and plan it out. I do it with my exploration ships so that I don't have to spend time spending money buying and selling parts to optimize the ships. My advice, and I was going to go on that for your Cobra and look at what your Cobra can support. My advice would be to put pulse lasers, turreted, in your top slots probably, or in whatever your smaller slots are. Put turreted pulse lasers, and in your other slots, one or two of them, however many you have, to use multi-cannons. And I'm kind of opposed to telling someone how to equip their ship, so you don't have to do that. But that's the build that I started with, and it's quite forgiving. Being all the guns are turreted, you will bind them to a fire group. When you hit that fire group control, the guns will light up, they will aim themselves, they will fire when they are able to get a clean shot, and it will allow you to learn how to fly in combat without having to worry about lining up gun sights all the time. And then whenever you feel comfortable, you can switch them out for other weapons. Or you can go to 4 pulse lasers, but lasers don't use ammo. At this level, they won't overheat your ship, but they will deplete. A renewing power supply that just looks like a sliding bar under each gun mount when you're targeting reticle. When it hits 0, they will shut down until they recharge. It doesn't hurt your ship, it doesn't take your fuel, it doesn't endanger your life. But the larger power distributors allow that bar to recharge ever more quickly, almost exponentially quicker, so it allows you to have a certain break-even point where the bar never depletes. But you're not near that yet. Mm-hmm. It's possible they don't have it there. Did you? It should be the rightmost option in the top row of the types of modules and optional. It's almost always the last item in the top row in that list, that grid menu of all the different ones where it has the shield generators and this and that. Okay, yeah, it should be in one of them. If it's not there, then maybe it's not there. Since you're probably going to be playing with them more than you're going to be playing with me, though I'll certainly play with you if that's what you want. I don't have a problem with that at all. It's just, you know them better than you know me. But anyway, I operate in a different part of space than they do. When I'm playing with them, I go to them. Being kind of an explorer type player, I'm all over the freaking place. I'm all over creation, places they'll probably never go. But the places in Civilization that I go are not where they are. I stay away from them. They do their own thing, I stay away. So if I tell you to go somewhere they're probably going to tell you not to go there, or they're going to tell you go somewhere else. They're not familiar with the outfitting where I go, and I'm not familiar with where they go. So I don't know where they would send you, but I can make you a recommendation of where you can go to get what you need. But first, I'm going to try to help you equip the ship, your Cobra, so that it can get to where I'm going to recommend you going. I'm going to send you to a Federation fortress world, where it's a planet with a fortress station orbiting it, and that station is where I have all my ships parked. I know the outfitting there is considerable, and it has a system next to it that has good outfitting as well. What you're going to need on your Cobra is, if you don't already have a fuel scoop, and I don't think the ship comes with a fuel scoop, you're going to want, in this order of priority, a shield generator, a fuel scoop, a docking computer, which you said they don't have there, so I'm going to send you somewhere that does have it. I mean, it's I don't take you to be an idiot, or to be misunderstanding how the game is structured. If you don't see it, then it's not there. Right, I understand. I don't mean to be offensive to you. It's just not everywhere has the docking computer, so I'm not going to take it to mean that you don't know what you're doing. If it's not there, it's not there. But you're going to want a fuel scoop. If you would like, you can put the smallest fuel scoop available to you, which would be like a 1E or a 1D. Fuel scoops have no weight, so all they do is serve a function and take up energy from your ship. So you put on whatever one you can afford. People generally say use the largest fuel scoop that you can afford. If you're going to be planning on going into combat, you're going to want the largest numbered shield that you can find probably an A or a B. A's are generally the best. And then the second biggest slot, or the second slot of the biggest, if you got two that are the same size, you want your fuel scoop. Larger fuel scoops take up more energy, but they scoop faster and allow you to get near the star, fill your tank, and get away before your ship overheats. I think I just hit the ceiling fan. Okay, I'm good. It's just got hot in here. But you're in a lucky situation with your the size of your ship and what it equips versus your bank account, because you could literally put the best stuff available from anywhere on that ship without running out of money, because the stuff just doesn't cost that much when it's that small. Spoil yourself a little bit, but it's still, I mean, that ship optimized, equipped to the hilt. It's still a small ship, so it'll help you a lot. So, let's see here. I'm staring at deep space out in the middle of nowhere. My exploration vessel. Multi-purpose will do that. Okay. So you got 4. Oh, this thing's not that bad. 4, 4, 4, 2, 2, 2. Okay. So, are you still in the outfitting for that particular ship? It looks like you could probably get rid of one of those cargo racks and put a size 4 fuel scoop and a size 4 shield generator. Um, one of the twos will probably go to a docking computer, if you so choose. One of those twos, you could put an advanced discovery scanner, which is under stellar body scanners in the menu. And then if you would like, you can fill any remaining slots with cargo racks, but you don't have to. It's just a hypothetical build. If you take all the cargo racks out, you can literally carry no cargo. It doesn't cripple your ship, it just means that certain missions that award you items you won't be able to accept. They recommend that you carry something in terms of cargo racks. Yeah, they backfill a lot of the ships with cargo racks from the factory. I'd take the first two slots and use a fuel scoop and a shield generator in the first two slots that are size 4. Use whatever fuel scoop and shield generator that are size 4 that you would like. Unless you're doing something where you're specifically making the ship lightweight, which is a whole archetype in itself, you're probably going to want to use the highest number A-rated power plant that you can to support all these things that you're tacking onto the ship. Same thing with the power distributor, as large and as high numbered and lettered as you can for the power distributor, because that's what recharges your that's what powers the targeting computer for your guns. It's what recharges your lasers when they run out of power. Bigger distributors recharge quicker. It's also what gives power to the thrusters, the shield generator, and other things on your ship. It's basically the fuse box. Bigger power distributors got fatter wires that can carry more current. A small distributor will cause your shield to recharge very slow, and it could be so small that it doesn't allow you to boost your ship at all, which means you're going to be stuck driving at normal sub-super cruise all the time. It gets old quick. That's fine. Not everywhere sells cargo racks, so if you choose to store the cargo racks, that's not a bad idea. It says that, but they're not specialized, and they're widely available. Probably more than 80% of the stations you'll ever encounter sell cargo racks of all sizes. The game just warns you like that because you can modify some modules in a way that once you sell them, they're permanently gone. They can't be replaced. And that's usually the engineered parts, which you're not there yet. The larger numbers scoop faster. The closer to A that you get, the more energy they use, but they also scoop faster. So 4A or 4B. I'd do the 2A. See the 2A, but you can jam that 2A in one of the number 2 slots and carry a bigger cargo rack if you would like. Or you can just jam it into the 4 slot, it won't hurt the ship at all, and replace it with a size 4 when you get to the next place. Shield cell banks are like emergency kickstarters for your shield. They allow you to recharge your shield, you know, like supplement it. It's not something you really need. It's something for the large ships. It acts like a capacitor. Red in the menu. Shield generator. Scroll over to one of them. What does it say? Does it say like module exceeds mass or something? The shield's not big enough for your ship. As you make your ship heavier with modules, you need increasingly better shields, because the shield has some correlation with the mass of your ship. So more mass means stronger shields required, otherwise the shield just doesn't work. And you can only have one shield generator equipped at a time, so you may have one already equipped. Your 4E shield should be fine for now. I'm just, I don't want to coax you away from the safety that they've directed you to, but I'm unfamiliar with where you're at, other than generally where it is in the galaxy, in comparison to where I would prefer that you be at, so I understand what they're going to have, or kind of gist. You upgraded your frameshift drive? E is what the ships come with from the factory. If you can help it, you don't want any of your modules to be E, because E isn't the lightest, it isn't the most powerful, it's not the most armored. It's just not good. So anything that's E that you don't know what to do with, just change it to D. You want your frameshift drive to ideally be A, the largest number, and A rated. That will give you the most jump, and you'll see a large difference in your jump range at the bottom center of your screen. You have a... what size do you have now? Let's see. Module... here, I'm on Coriolis, I can look. You have a 4A, or a 4 frameshift drive. Fudge, man. They kind of... yeah. Most likely, if you're looking at a size 2 frameshift drive and you're trying to put it on a Cobra, it would make the Cobra so weak that it would be useless to you. What options do you have in the shop for the frameshift drive? You already have a 4E, that's why it's exempt. Anything more in the 4 category? Okay, it's getting better. Right. Use the 4B. This is one of those things where it's beyond me telling you how to play the game. This is just math. What does it say your jump range is at now at the bottom? It should have 3 numbers. You just want the second number. That's the only one that matters, really. The one that says current. like it should be like a bar at the bottom. Yeah, I guess so. I'm kind of visualize it. That. Light years. It's light years. That's the units that they use to tell how far away systems are from each other. So the middle number was 19. Second. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. You can do better, but it's definitely a good start. Some of those small ships just can't jump. Yeah, you just look at what it's changing it to at the bottom. Generally, even on the most lightweight of ships, you want the highest number and A-rated frame shift drive, because anything less is really just a compromise based on what you can afford. And at this point, affording it is not your primary issue. Your issue is figuring out what's best for you. Change that to a 4A, B, or D. C is just kind of like an average. It's an average of all the stats, so it's not good at anything. It's just, you know, something for when you can't afford a B. A, B, or D, so alpha, beta, or delta. Yes, in this case, yes. Bs have more armor than As, but they're not as strong. B is good if you have like a primary combat ship that you're not using for anything else. B is heavy and it's armored, but it's not as strong power output.
Frameshift drive charging.
Blue is improving, red is getting worse. Yeah, but keep in mind that the number that it shows for your jump range for the frameshift drive down at the bottom that says max, that is like a mythical number. That number largely can be ignored. It just gives you reference, because max is how far your ship could jump if you had no fuel and nothing equipped. If it was just an empty hull with an engine strapped on it. But it gives you perspective as to what the max theoretical that ship could jump. And then the middle is what you're actually going to jump based on how you got it set up now, and the last one is how far you would jump if your ship was carrying the max weight that it can, given the amount of cargo racks you have equipped. So, you probably want to change that to a D, a B, A, B, or D. The thrusters have, other than the weight of the thrusters, they have no bearing on how far you can jump. It is, and all ships travel the same speed in Super Cruise. Thrusters only have an effect on the turning radius of your ship when you're like in combat, and the top speed and boost speed of your ship when you're in combat.
Fuel scoping. Cannot comply.
Like I said, anything that's an E as an Edward should be replaced with something for the time being. Yes, A, B, C, or D. Anything but E. E is like just not good. Okay.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage. Fuel scoping. Fuel scoping complete.
Usually what I do with small hardpoints is put energy weapons in them. Torpedoes carry a obscenely low amount of ammo. In some cases, a torpedo will carry 1 round of ammo before you have to go back to a station and reload it. But torpedoes are absurdly powerful. Sometimes torpedoes can one-hit kill ships. That's why you only carry 1 of them, because it's a huge torpedo. Missiles are like torpedoes, but you carry like 6 or 8 rounds, and they fire from like a hopper. It's a missile pod. Railguns generate a tremendous amount of heat, and they have to be aimed by pointing your ship. They're fixed weapons. They're bolted, hard bolted to the hull. You do not want them at your particular point, because you have to always be nose in. What I would recommend is pulse lasers, burst lasers, cannons, or multi-cannons. Multi-cannons are essentially a Gatling gun. Black cannon is like a shotgun. It's a space shotgun. Multi-cannons generally carry a lot of ammo, but they are automatic weapons in the traditional, you know, machine gun sense. It's a multi-barreled rotating gun, like you would see. Multi-cannons are generally more flexible. Cannons have a low rate of fire because a cannon is like a slug shot from a shotgun. A multi-cannon is like a multi-barrel shooting 5mm. You get the comparison. And in your particular situation, this is open season. You do whatever you want, even if it's a bad decision. It's not going to kill your career. You'll just learn from whatever decision you make and decide what you like. Because this is one of those personal preference things. You do what you want. Pulse lasers are not bad. They're the most economical of all the laser types. They use the least amount of energy, they deal the least amount of heat and damage. But that also means that they're not as dangerous to you, and you can shoot them for longer periods of time without running out of power for them. Just not necessarily a bad thing. Like I said, at your particular point where you're still learning, I would recommend whatever weapon you use, that you buy the turreted version of it, which will allow you to focus on flying your ship while still dealing out damage, because turreted weapons have their own targeting computers and they handle aiming themselves. Generally, not every station has it, but all the laser types, the multi-cannons, the cannons, and the flak cannons can all come in turreted. Railguns never do, torpedoes and missiles never do, and plasma accelerators never do. They can turn 360 degrees and they can incline up to 90 degrees, so they can look straight out, straight forward, circle around. But the game is literal about it being turreted. It's like the turret on a Warthog in Halo. It can't turn through itself, so if it needs to turn 180 degrees, it's swinging 180 degrees, and that takes time. Certain ships, like the ship you're in, for example, can move so fast that they can outrun the turning speed of a turreted weapon. It's not often, but it can happen. Usually, when that happens, it's bad news for you. That's why you don't go into combat alone. My preferred setup, whatever type of weapon you use, is if you've got 4 hard points, and 2 of them are like size 2 and 2 of them are size 1, I generally put some type of laser in the 2 size 1s, and then I put some type of traditional gun type weapon in the other 2. Yes, so like half and half. You can mix and match them, have 1 laser and 1 gun in the smalls, and 1 laser and 1 gun in the big. It's completely fine as well. Your ship's not going to fly crooked or anything. It's not going to seriously hurt it. This is a learning process, and that's pretty neat. Certain ships, I don't think the ship you have allows it, but certain ships, like the ship I'm in, for example, has a co-pilot seat in it. Some of them have more than one co-pilot seat. When the weapon is multi-crew able, like you said, you can have a co-pilot, another human player, jump into your ship and operate your guns for you, and all they do is there's like just a gunner. Yeah, no, it'll still work. But they all have targeting computers. Just someone can override the targeting computer and go willy-nilly with it if they wanted to. But if no one's present, it operates like a normal targeting computer. It fires itself. Some ships carry interceptor fighter bays. Same deal. Multi-crew person can load into their ship and fly the fighter while they fly their own ship. It's possible. It is certainly possible. I don't know. Yeah, I understand. I am just doing exploration, and yes, it's interesting to me. I've spent several hours doing what you're doing, even at my particular experience level. It's just neat to fool with stuff. It's power management, and lasers are good against shields, guns are good against the metal hull, so one knocks the shield down and one inflicts hull damage, because lasers aren't especially strong against metal. And like you thought, it's power management as well. But, do you see like a little symbol somewhere on the listing for the weapon? So it looks, one of them looks like a reticle, one of them looks like a little turret, and one of them is like a cross. The difference between them, and high stretch. It's not uniform in the letter designation. Generally, the closer to A you get with the letters, the better the weapon, or the better the module in general is. But with the weapons, what you're looking at, while there's a bunch of different versions of the same weapon of the same size, is some of them are turreted, which means, like I said, they can turn all over the place and they target on their own. Some of them, maybe he was in the middle of something. He's just checking on you. But some of them are fixed, which is like a railgun. They point straight forward. They don't adjust themselves really at all. Then there's gimbaled, which is kind of a midpoint. Gimbaled can aim itself about 5 degrees from straight forward in any direction. It can't turn backwards. It just can wiggle. It's good for stabilizing when you have a ship that's twitchy like yours. It's good for stabilizing it, but the gun can still only point forward. I wouldn't recommend fixed at this point. I would recommend turreted, which means you want to look for the weapons. They have the little turret emblem next to them. I would swap them out for turreted if available. It'll still be a pulse laser, But yeah, the fixed mount is concerning. Yeah, but I would recommend the whatever you choose, whatever type of weapon, that it be turreted only, just for the time being, at least for one battle. Okay, good. I'm gonna let you do your thing whenever you feel comfortable, that you've established however you'd like it to be, and I will let you know the name of the system that you could go to get a docking computer. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just gonna be here. That's fine. The community in this game is very good and expansive, and sharing of information. You know, people taught me, so I teach you, and people ask you questions one day, and so on. Really nothing at that size that the ship can equip is what I would call powerful, but it works. The whole ship works on the same premise of less is more, which is not bad. You're harder to hit. You carry small weapons, which makes you light, makes you agile, and so on. Beam lasers, as you played Halo, right? A beam laser is like a sentinel beam. They eat up energy the quickest out of all the lasers. They deal the most DPS because all the other lasers like are rapid fire. A beam laser is essentially an infinite fire rate. It's a constant beam, like a sentinel beam. But it also means that it's constantly generating heat without breaks. It's constantly eating up energy without breaks. And they usually cost more, I think. I know some of the turreted large beam lasers are heinously expensive, like 20 million. Yes. You made it to booty. It says there's no docking computer at booty. You may object to it, Stretch, but I was going to direct him to Leyden, where the Fortress Anderton is, because I'm pretty sure the docking computer was there last time I left. But that's not really territories that you guys wander into, because it's a empty system. Yeah, that's what I'm stationed in Leyden. That's why I was sending him there, just temporarily to get a docking computer, and then I was just going to let him go wherever he wants. Now that he's in booty, he's gotten his power plant, frameshift drive, all the E-rated stuff switched away from E. I tried to give him some rough advice on shield and fuel scoop so that he's not flying without a scoop, and, you know, keep a cargo rack, you know, the standard fare that Danny would teach anyone. And I was just going to let him do his thing, because I'm out near Antares, you know, 400 light years away from him, so I'm just instructing him verbally. Yes. Beam lasers are the highest in everything. Plasma accelerator? It's like a plasma rifle, yeah, they're fixed. They're generally for large ships. They generate a lot of heat, take a lot of power. Plasma accelerator. Mm-hmm. Mm. I was advising all turreted weapons, at least for the first skirmish, so you can learn how to not get shot, and then he can go back to gimbaled on half, or all of them. Oh my. He's going on about that. I don't know. We different opinions, me and him. And he's going to tell this guy something different than what I just taught him. That kind of stinks, but it's the way it is. What am I going to do? So Stretch, do you guys still operate in Magnus at all? I was explaining to to AC that like Leyden, for example, where the Fortress Anderton is. That's where all my ships are parked. And I was directing him, not permanently, just for at least one visit to go there because I know there's a docking computer there. And that's all, that was the complete thought. And I had mentioned to him, I said, look, these guys operate centered around this system here. I operate out of this system over here. I don't know what they do over there or what's in their outfitting because I never go there. I know there's a docking computer here. If you want one, you can come get it. But I figured when he next encountered you or Gear Jockey, you guys wouldn't send him back to Kubio. So you wouldn't go far to get the Leyden, but that was the whole thought there. I have to think back now. It's very tired. I don't know if I went to Booty and got that bounty or got that payout. So I logged in. I was at something ring, Amazek ring or something like that for the algae. Because he's probably got that 800 grand as well waiting for him. Okay, yeah. Because I was so tired, I just kind of silently faded out. Yeah. I didn't even accept the algae till I got on this evening. I was so tired last night that I was waiting. I was parked. I was sitting there in the Orca, and I was like, you know what? I'm starting to stare at the floor. I better just get in bed. Mm-hmm. He's in solo, so it might be better just to set him up with the bookmark and let him get going to bed. Or you can switch it over, but I didn't even bother. I was just instructing instead of interacting.